The night split open with the crack of my rifle. One shot, clean and sharp, echoing off the black stone walls of the canyon until it sounded like a dozen ghosts firing back. The wolf tumbled into the sand just short of the corral. My mare snorted and stamped, nervous, but I kept the barrel steady until the silence sealed itself again over the Nevada dark. Only then did I let the breath slide out of me and lower the gun. 14 years alone teaches a man to move slow, to count each sound like a bead on a rosary. Coyotes, crickets, the wind whistling between the twisted junipers. My cabin sat low against the rise, smoke curling lazy from the chimney, a single lantern spilling warm light through the cracked window pane. It wasn't much, but it kept me alive and far from the noise of men. I used to be one of them, a soldier, K-gun for the Union. I left pieces of myself scattered across Tennessee's battlefields and worse places after the war. There are nights I still wake choking on the smell of blood and wood smoke. Nights when a girl's scream cuts through my sleep before I can shove it back where it belongs. That was the price of walking away once, of saving my own skin and leaving someone else to the wolves. It's why I came here, to Black Rock Canyon. Easier to live with ghosts than people. I'd just hauled the wolf's carcass out past the ridge when I felt the hair prickling at the base of my neck. Not animal quiet, but human quiet. A weight to the dark. I swung my lantern in an arc and caught the faintest tremor between the pinyon trees. A shape, small, staggering. "Who's there?" My voice scraped, rough from disuse. No answer. The shape lurched closer, one uneven step after another. When she broke into the ring of lamplight, I thought for a heartbeat she was one of my ghosts come to collect. A woman, or what was left of one, barefoot, clothes torn into rags, hair tangled and wild, catching sparks of light like copper wire, blood crusted down one arm. She made it 2 more steps and fell face first into the dust. "Damn," I muttered, rifle slung and boots already moving. Up close, she was all angles and wounds, skin sunburnt and filthy, lips cracked from thirst, but alive. Her chest fluttered with shallow breaths. I slid an arm under her shoulders and felt her flinch so hard it jarred us both. "Easy," I said, low and slow, like gentling a spooked horse. "You're safe now." Her eyes snapped open, green and wild, and she rasped, "Don't. Take me back," voice raw, nearly gone. "Nobody's talking you anywhere?" She didn't seem to hear. Her whole body shook as though she'd outrun hell itself and wasn't sure she'd won. When I tried to shift her weight, she clutched at my coat with blood-crusted fingers, surprising strength in them. Fear stronger still. I half-carried, half-dragged her inside, kicking the door shut behind me. The cabin smelled of wood smoke and strong coffee. I'd brewed a pot to fend off the cold creeping down from the mountains. I eased her onto the cot in the corner. She curled up instinctively, knees to chest, still gripping my coat like it was a lifeline. The fire snapped, throwing shadows that danced across the log walls. I knelt beside her with a canteen, but when I touched her shoulder, she jerked away with a sharp animal sound. "All right," I said quietly. "Not touchin'. Just water." I set the canteen where she could see it, then moved slow, back to the stove. Gave her the space to choose. She didn't drink. Just watched me, with those hollow eyes, while I busied myself feeding the fire, pouring another mug of coffee I didn't need. My hands itched to do something other than remember the last time I'd seen a woman look like that, broken and hunted. Back then, I'd turned my back. Not this time. After a long while, she shifted, one trembling hand inching toward the canteen. She drank like every swallow hurt, but refused to stop. When she set it down, her voice cracked again, a whisper, "Thank you." I nodded, throat tight. "You got a name?" She hesitated. "Elara, Caleb," I said. "This is my place. You're safe for now." Her gaze flicked to the window, to the night beyond, and for the first time, I caught a flash of pure terror that wasn't about me. She was listening for something out there. Someone. "You want me to lock the door?" I asked. She swallowed and gave a small, jerky nod. I did, sliding the heavy iron bolt across. The sound seemed to settle her a fraction, enough that she sank back against the cot, I grabbed a spare quilt and laid it near her, without touching her. She didn't take it, just kept my coat clutched under her chin. I didn't sleep. Sat by the fire with my rifle across my knees, eyes on the door, while the hours crawled. Sometime before dawn, she drifted off, breathing ragged but steady. Outside, a cold wind swept down from the ridge, rattling the shutters. I thought about the long ride into town for a doctor, but something in my gut said it wasn't just sickness chasing her. There was danger on her heels. Morning came thin and gray. I dozed in the chair, chin to chest, when the sound of cloth shifting woke me. Elara was sitting up, hair a tangled halo, eyes darting like a cornered doe's. She saw me and froze. "Morning," I said softly. Her lips parted, then closed again. She licked them, voice breaking. "Water," I poured from the kettle. Let the steam curl between us as I handed her the tin cup. Moved slow, let her see each motion. She drank, smaller sips this time, eyes locked on mine like she was measuring the man behind them. Something flickered there, tiny, almost gone but real. A spark of wanting to live. "You're safe here," I said. "But I reckon someone might come looking. We'll be ready." Her hands trembled around the cup. "They always come." "Who?" She swallowed hard. "Men. From the mine." That word hit me like a fist. Mines out here could mean anything: greed, cruelty, lawless men carving wealth out of rock and lives alike. I'd seen camps where death was cheaper than water. "You ran?" I asked. Her nod was barely there. "Twice before. Didn't get far." She turned just slightly, and the blanket slipped from her shoulders. My stomach clenched at the sight. Angry welts and half-healed burns crossing her back in savage patterns. Some shaped like letters I couldn't read. I swore under my breath before I could stop it. She flinched, and I forced my voice gentle again. "Sorry, not at you." She stayed silent, staring at the floor. After a moment, she said, so quiet I almost missed it, "Please don't send me back." The weight of those words lodged deep in my chest. Once, long ago, another girl had begged me not to leave her, and I had. Fear and orders and survival had won. I'd paid with 14 years of empty nights and whiskey I couldn't finish. "I won't," I said. "Not this time." For the first time. She looked at me fully, searching. Whatever she saw must have been enough, because she nodded once and drew the coat tighter. I let her be, busying myself with coffee and bacon, small, normal things. She didn't eat much, but took a few bites. Color came back to her lips slowly, like sunrise. By midday, I saddled my horse Blue. "Gotta check the ridge," I told her. "See if anyone's coming. You'll be safe inside." Her eyes widened. "Don't leave. I'll be close. Just keep the door bolted." She hesitated, then whispered, "Be careful." It was the first time she'd offered me anything besides fear. It hit harder than it should have. The ridge was empty, but for tracks, fresh hoofprints leading toward my land. Not wolves this time. Men. At least one rider had circled wide, maybe scouting. My gut went cold. I turned Blue hard and rode back fast. When the cabin came into view, smoke curled steady. No strangers outside. But Elara stood in the doorway, pale as the moon, holding my revolver, wrong but determined. "You hold that careful," I said as I swung down. Her knees nearly gave when she saw me, relief breaking across her face so raw it hurt to look at. She handed the gun back without a word. I checked and double-checked locks. Windows, ammo, someone sniffing around. "We keep quiet tonight," she nodded. "It's Silas," she whispered, almost to herself. "Who's Silas?" "The one who caught me last time. He. Hunts." That single word was enough. I'd lived a long time trying to be no one's hero. But as I watched her stand there barefoot, wrapped in my coat like armor too big, something old and sharp and fiercely alive moved inside me. Whatever hunted her would have to come through me first. I didn't say that out loud. Just stoked the fire, checked my rifle, and sat across from her as night fell heavy over Black Rock Canyon. Somewhere out in the dark, A horse nickered once, low and mean. She flinched. I met her eyes and said the only truth I had. They picked the wrong canyon.